I'm Evan Henderson, and I'm here to interview some famous women from the Bible. So, what is your name?
Mary Magdalene.
Rahab.
I'm Rachel, and this is Leah.
I'm Mary. I'm Queen Esther.
My name's Miriam.
Okay, how do you feel about there being two Marys?
There's two Marys, but there's one Mary Magdalene. Keep that in mind.
How did you feel when you saw Jesus after he died?
Well, I was heartbroken because he was gone. And then I saw the gardener, and I thought it was Gardener Bill. And he came up and took it off. It was Rabbi. And I'm like, embarrassing!
Wow, Mary, you're the mother of Jesus, yes?
Yes, I am.
What was it like seeing an angel that first night?
Horrifying, because he kind of showed up out of nowhere. So, like, what do you do when you're, like, doing your own thing and then all of a sudden, BAM! Just bright, angelly light. It was kind of intense.
And who are you related to again?
I'm related to Moses and Aaron.
How were the beauty treatments and fashion show at the palace?
They were something else, let me tell you. The beauty treatments, they were interesting. The Persians are very weird. We spent a week getting ready for this fashion show, I guess you'd call it. And it was painful, to say the least. Okay, have you ever bathed in donkey's milk? It's an interesting experience. And the Egyptian wax treatment, I mean, come on. I hurt for days. It hurt so bad.
What's it like in the desert, living there?
Oh, it is just absolutely miserable.
Well, I'm sorry for
The
you.
fashion show was different in
Okay.
a completely different way, okay?
You know, it's so hot out there. There's no shade, no something, anything, you know. Every now and then we would, like, come across a creek, but that's it, you know. Like, that's the only water, so we all have to carry a bunch of jugs everywhere we go. And it's really hard because, you know, it's heavy bringing that much water.
I get stage fright. I get scared easily, okay? The most scariest thing I'd ever seen was the butcher killing a sheep. It's not pleasant, okay? And then I have to go and parade in front of the whole court in this fancy dress with this stupid crown that does not stay on my head. It was torture, and yet I won because everyone else is stupid.
Okay, well, what was going through your head when it rained manna?
We were on the brink of starvation, you know, and it just, like, one morning we woke up and it was just like snowing, but it wasn't snow, it was manna. It was just snowing manna all over the place, and I was like, oh my gosh, it's manna. What do we call this, Moses? And Moses was like, oh, manna.
So, Jacob, huh? Which one does he actually like better?
Me. He's always preferred me. He prefers her even though I married him
only-
first. The only
7 years
reason
before he married
The only reason why he married her was because our father tricked him into marrying her. She didn't even want to.
And Aaron, he wanted to call it was like sky bread, but that didn't work. We were like, no, we need to keep this serious because, you know, it's from heaven, so thank God.
Okay. Leah, how did it feel being married to him for 7 years? Was it worth it?
Well, he was in the field all the time. Like, I didn't really see him. He was working for our father to marry her.
Well, were you ever bitten by a snake?
Yes, I was.
So, do you enjoy being queen?
Oh, it definitely has its perks. I mean, aside from the wax treatment. I mean, I get to boss people around and have servants all the time. I get to eat as many avocados as I want. Do you know how amazing that is? So great. It's so great.
What food did you miss the most while in the desert?
Pizza.
They had that back then?
Well, they had pizza back in Egypt, and but you know, the shelter I was staying at, they had really good quesadillas, and I made the salsa for it, It was fabulous, but I didn't have none of those ingredients out in the desert.
And the king's pretty cool. I mean, I see him like once a week. He's like, hey babe, and I'm like, sup? And that's about it. Yeah.
So I really missed my salsa and my quesadillas, and then the restaurant Papa John's Pizza.
Well, do you have anything to say about your cousin?
Mordecai? Mordecai. He's a good man.
What did you think about your brothers?
Knuckleheads. You know, Moses, he can't speak properly. I mean, it's a curse. He has a ton of good things to say, but he can't speak. He stutters all the time, so Aaron has to speak, and he's just a doof.
Well, I mean, I guess it was worth it, but like half the time he was married to her, and so I was kind of thinking like, does he really love me? I mean, is his heart divided in half?
Moses leaves for maybe like a month just to go praise and worship, which I'm all for that, but he's like a mother babysitting all this crowd. And as soon as he leaves, Aaron's like, alright, give me all your gold, I'm gonna make a cow.
Like he loves her some and me some. I mean, I can't live with that. And plus, I mean, I wasn't getting any younger. It's not like I can bear children. I mean, yeah. So, I mean, I guess, of course I love him, but...
Well, how often did you bathe in the desert?
Never.
Nice to have you. So, how did you feel when you decided to have the 2 spies in your home?
Well, I felt like I was supposed to be saving them. I don't know what came over me. That's not how I usually was.
Is Jacob still married to both of you?
Yes.
Against my will, he is.
How dare you?
Have you ever bathed?
Well, I tried it once, and it ruined all the drinking water for the whole thing, so Moses said, maybe don't do that.
I would have turned them in normally, but then I just like felt something and decided to hide them and lie to the officers
Nice.
about where they were.
How is it living with one another knowing that the other is a wife as well?
That was terrible.
Terrible.
Even though the good part.
Sorry, I'm sorry. You had to do that. Sorry.
What do you miss about Egypt?
Free health care.
The good part though is we off and on switch days preparing the meal, so I get a whole day, 4 days off of the week cooking meals. So she does that part.
What made you think to hide them on the roof?
Well, there's the flax up there that I put out to dry, and I was like, well, I can hide them under there, and no one could see them if they were like on a higher roof and look down, and you couldn't see them if you were in the house because, you know, obviously they're on the roof.
Are you guys jealous? You think?
Yeah, I just want her out of the place. I mean, I know she's my sister, but
We
like,
sleep in separate houses
why do you have to keep bringing that up?
because I can't see them because they're on the roof.
Nice.
It's like a love triangle between us. It's like he loves me and he loves her, and he can't decide who he loves more, even though he does like Rachel more.
Why a red cord?
Well, it was actually the very one that I hung out my window, but they told me that when they left, they told me to hang a scarlet cord out the window that I had let them out of, and so they would know which house was mine, and they would know not to kill anyone in that house.
Just
She has this
let me talk for a
horrible
second.
nickname for him. She calls him Jakey Poo.
Did you trust the men at first when they told you your family would be spared?
At first I was a little skeptical about that, but then I decided why not, and so I trusted them. I hung the scarlet cord out the window, and sure enough, me and my family weren't killed while they were there.
Sorry if this is a hard question for you, but what was it like seeing your kids die?
That day was the most devastating day of my entire life. Just watching my little boy carry the cross and being nailed to it and watching him suffer. But he's alive now, so.
What happened when you told the disciples that Jesus was alive?
Well, I ran in the room and I'm like, guys, he's alive! And they're like, who?
He's alive now! Take that!
And I was like, who's not? And they're like, this makes no sense.
Aha! In your face! Jesus lives!
So I had to sit down and explain to them. Of course, they didn't believe me. And then finally, Peter and John went out there
He is alive! I knew I was his mother.
and checked it out. And yeah, they came back, started saying it was this one guy, Thomas. He just couldn't get the needed proof.
I knew he would come back again. He said he would, and he did. That's why you never doubt Jesus Christ.
I forgot what I was gonna say. Why did you do that?
You're welcome.
Okay, I got. I mean, sometimes when he's not looking, we'll be at each other's throats, like literally, like this. Ow! One time I was this close, and he had to walk in the room.
Well,
Because that's what sisters do.
I think that's all the questions that I have for you.
I'm done. Yeah.
Thank you for your time.
I'm Samson.